Good afternoon. I'd like to call the Human Services Committee meeting in order, and we will start with the Pledge of Allegiance, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. And we have roll call, please.
Mrs. Burdick.
Here.
Mrs. Ricketts-Wales.
Here.
Mr. Barnes.
Present.
Mr. Bissett.
Here.
Mrs. Hanchett. Mr. Healy.
Here.
Mrs. Root. 5 present, 2 absent.
Thank you. And can I have a motion to approve the minutes of May 21st, please?
Ricketts-Wales.
Bissett.
Any corrections or additions? All in favor?
Aye.
And that's carried. We welcome Anita Madison, Office of the Aging. Welcome, Anita.
Thank you. The first thing on the agenda is our monthly report. A few things I'd like to highlight. Insurance counseling I've been highlighting for you. Every month we still are up. So this month, this is for April, 351 contacts. The previous month 205, and the same time last year 231. So insurance counseling continues to be on the rise. Housekeeper chore, which is PC level 1, 846 units of service, and that is hours of service in people's homes, and that is up from the previous month of 791 hours, and the same time last year at 789. And the other increase that we have is our PERS, our personal emergency response buttons. We have 180 units out in individuals' homes versus 171 the same time last year and the previous month. So we are on the rise for those as well. The other thing I want to highlight is our tax counseling, just to give you a final count for as of 4/14, which was the end of the tax season. Our total refunds back into individuals' homes was $448,919 in refunds into older adults' pockets, with an additional savings of $110,400, and that is for 552 people if they were paying $200 to have their taxes prepared by a professional preparer like H&R Block or another company. So cash in hand, $448,919 with an additional $110,400 savings.
That's fantastic.
And that is with 9 volunteers.
That's very good. We always like to hear things like that.
Yes.
All right, anything else on the monthly report?
Question.
Yes.
The Lifeline alert, maybe whatever.
PERS.
Yeah, maybe that's not the proper name, but are those the same people that utilize that service, or utilizing the Meals on Wheels too? Most of them, or do you keep track of any?
We have some that have home delivered meals, some are case managed clients, and some of them don't have either of those services, so it is a mixture.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, we have an MOE.
Yep.
If you want to go ahead with that, Anita, please.
Sure. So the next thing we have is we are requesting a resolution to finalize our revenue for the New York State Unmet Needs Funds. In the 2024 budget, we had budgeted for $553,753. We actually are receiving $657,353, and that is due to a carryover of the 2024-2025 funds, a total of $103,600 we would like to have allocated into this year's budget. We would be putting it into equipment, mileage, and transportation, general supplies, fees, contracts, which is our home care, and our PERS, a personal emergency response. And we have had this approved by our county treasurer.
Can I have a motion to accept that?
Ricketts-Wales.
Helio, second.
Any questions? I just have one question, Anita.
Sure.
By adding that 1,600 of PERS, does that mean you'll be able to add more people to it, or will that just take care of what you already have?
It will take care of what we have for right now, but the new additional unmet needs funds that are coming, we will be adding additional people on. Right now, we don't have a waiting list.
Okay.
For PERS, we were able to eliminate the waiting list with the funds that we had received.
Great, thank you. Any other questions? All in favor? Aye. And that's carried, thank you. I have one question for you, Anita. Later on in the meeting, I can't remember which committee, it might be Ways and Means, they're talking about buying a paratransit bus. Will that help your department? Because I know there's been a problem with getting transportation for people to doctor's appointments, to Rochester, to Buffalo. If there's a bus such as that, will that help the seniors also? I mean, I thought that's kind of the intention of it partly.
It could. Is this the
5310.
Yeah, so we are part of the 5310 discussion and the 5310 grant, which is where that is being funded through. So our office is actually part of those conversations.
Okay, great.
You're welcome.
Because I knew there was a problem, so
Yeah.
if that'll help, that'd be great. All
Yeah,
right,
we do work together on that, so.
Great. All right, thank you. Any
welcome.
other questions for Anita?
I got one more. Backing up to, what do you call that, your lifeline?
Oh, the personal emergency response,
Personal emergency response, yes. Okay. So, do you track the veterans that utilize that service?
We do have it. Our statewide data system that we utilize for all of our tracking purposes, we have a veterans part to that, so we could pull a report to find out how many veterans are served underneath that. We do use our funding for the PERS as a last resort, so if a veteran is eligible for PERS through VA, then we would have them go through the VA.
And,
they do offer that.
I assume you work in conjunction with the veterans, the county's veterans
Very
service
closely.
officer and his deputy down there. So is there, you said you received separate funding for the veterans under?
We don't receive separate funding. The VA system has funding for PERS, so if somebody is a veteran and qualifies for that service, it would go through the VA system, and we would have them utilize that before we used our funds. We save those funds for like a last resort, where there isn't any other funding to pay for those, and people need
So there
those.
wouldn't be any additional funding for us for those services?
No.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Any other questions for Anita? Thank you, Anita.
Can I just remind everybody
Yes.
about our senior picnic coming up? If you haven't reserved, it is Tuesday, August 5th. If you haven't participated in the senior picnic, we look forward to having you. We are doing 500 registrations, and we are filling up very quickly. So if you haven't reserved your spot, please let me know if you'll be able to help us out this year.
Everybody should sign up and go. It's a wonderful event.
And we appreciate all of the help, so thank you.
Excuse me.
Yes, Gary.
Do we need to sign up if we're going to be a worker?
Yeah, so we would like to have you sign up. That way I know who's there when we do the recognition. I know that you're going to be there so I can put you down. And if you're going to have chicken, I need to make sure that I order enough Stern's Chicken Barbecues.
Thank you.
Would you like me to write you down?
I'm not sure yet. We're planning on being out west in August, and I'm not sure what exact
Okay.
dates yet. so-
You can call me later then.
Okay.
Thanks.
Any other questions? Thank you, Anita.
Thank you.
All right, next we have, we do not have Tyler, we have Jamie today. Public Health Deputy. Welcome, Jamie.
Hi. Tyler is out on military leave, so I'm filling in for him. Would you like me to get started with my
Yep,
monthly
go right
report?
ahead with the month report,
Okay.
and then if you want to highlight anything on that, and then we'll get right to the other stuff.
Okay. Not a lot going on. We've been focusing a lot on Radon. That will be our main theme of the Allegheny County Fair this year. We have a house, a demonstration house being built by BOCES, and we've ordered radon test kits that we will sign people up for in order to get them, testing their homes for radon and really educating them on how dangerous it is and how to basically expel it from their homes. Also, we've been focusing a lot of our time on tick education and using that grant to purchase signs to put out on public parks, public walkways, trail systems, going out and doing education with Girl Scouts and some of the Rod and Gun clubs. So that's kind of winding down over the next few weeks. We should be pretty much done with that outlier from that grant. And then the other thing with education is just our viewing overall. The amount of hits we're getting on our page has increased dramatically. Our team is doing a wonderful job with education and outreach. If you haven't seen some of the videos that our fellow did on lead in conjunction with Ardent, those are awesome. And we also put out some short videos on flooding of septics and flooding of wells, particularly with all the flooding that was going on around here and in Cuba. So the videos seem to be kind of a hit, and we're looking at doing more of those in the future.
Right. Jamie, I just have a question on that. When someone asks to have their water tested, either because of flooding or what, is there a charge? Do you charge for that?
For public testing, we do. It's $60 to go into a private home and test their well water or spring water for E. coli and coliform.
Thank you.
Yes. Any other
Because of
questions?
one of your videos, someone got hold of me and asked me if there was a charge, so.
Yes.
All right. Anything else for that part of your report? All right, we can go on to the MOEs, please.
Okay. Our first MOE is for our tobacco enforcement program. It is the contract that is state-funded. This is period 2 of our 5-year block grant for the term of April 1st, 2024 through March 31st, 2029, in the amount of $33,200.
Can I have a motion to approve that?
Move.
Second.
Ricketts Swales.
Any questions? All in favor? Aye. That's carried.
And that is out on SFS, so it'll need to be electronically signed.
And I'm sure our county attorney is aware of that, right?
Yes.
Thank you.
Our next one is for our drinking water enhancement grant. This is period 1 of our 5-year grant from April 1st of 2025 through 3/31 of 2030. This amount is $107,453 per year.
Can we have a motion to approve this one?
Ricketts Swales.
Second. Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Jamie, when it's electronically submitted, do you do it, or does the county attorney or administrator's office do it?
I believe the chair has to go out and sign on
Okay.
that first.
Okay. All right, thank you.
Okay.
All right. And then the next one?
Okay, next on the list is an MOE for a resolution for the HUD Lead Hazard Reduction Capacity Building Grant. This request allows the public health director or his duly authorized representative to sign and approve all applications, bids, projects, and change orders for renovation and abatement under the HUD guidelines due to time constraints set forth by the HUD Lead Hazard Reduction Capacity Building Grant. The period for the signatory authority will run from June 1st, 2025 through November 30th, 2026, which runs concurrent to the grant.
Can we have a motion for that? I'll make the motion. Anyone want to second it?
Ricketts Swales.
Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
And that's carried. And we have one more, I believe.
Yep. The last one is an MOE for the Health Department requests a resolution to enter into a related and evaluation services provider contract for speech language pathology services in the preschool program with Joanna Muskland. Fiscal impact is approximately $10,000 a year based on how many eligible children she provides services to.
Can we have a motion to accept that?
Swales.
Second? Any questions? All in favor? And that's carried. I think, unless you have anything else you'd like to add today?
No, just make sure you come out to the fair booth and learn lots of information about radon.
right,
And if
thank-
you're interested in a test kit, you could sign up with us.
How many did you end up getting?
From the donation grant that we were given, I bought 350 test kits to sign people up, and we will be placing them in their homes, picking them up, mailing them to the laboratory in Massachusetts so that we get the results directly back. And then I will upload that information to the state, because we really don't have a lot of information in this county for previous radon testing.
Okay, great.
So, yeah, if you're interested, you can sign up, and our staff will come and place those and pick them up. They're short-term tests, so they run 3 to 5 days, and we have results back in a week for the homeowners.
Great. Thank you, Jamie.
Thank you.
All right, Mr. Horan, Commissioner of Social Services, welcome. You have all kinds of stuff for us today.
Lots of stuff. Good afternoon. Do you want me to just start right in with the monthly report?
Sure.
Okay. Our numbers, pretty much remained constant, but I do want to bring attention to the Child Protective Services line. Total open cases did drop by 15, and underneath that, preventive services did drop by 7. But as those numbers do go down as we close cases, some of them are unfounded, but some of those children do end up in foster care. So you'll see in foster care and adoption services that we have 4 children that were placed into our care, and we were able to place 3 other children with a family member. So, and then child support collections, we're going to start seeing those over the next couple months. We'll see those decrease. Tax season is over. So as people were doing their taxes, we're not able to recoup monies if they were in arrears on their child support cases. And we either turn those over to the custodial parent, or we use those funds to repay the taxpayers of the county for benefits that we gave out. So, any other questions on the monthly report?
All right, guess not. Okay, we can go on with the MOEs.
Okay. Do you want me to just do all 4 together?
Can we block those, Carissa? I mean, Allison, I'm sorry. I always do that. I
Yes,
don't know why.
we can have the commissioner go through all the MOAs that are grouped by 4s, and then you can vote on them all at once, and then my office can prepare them as one resolution and list all 4 of them.
All right, so we'll do the first set of 4.
Okay. The first one is for the Sheriff's Department. This is for security services. We do pay the Sheriff's Department for 1 full-time deputy for Department of Social Services security. This person is located at Checkpoint 1 and also does rounds on the ground floor and the first floor to make sure that we're safe. And we also do pay for another deputy on the grounds that patrols the grounds. The next one is also for the Sheriff's Department. The Department of Social Services is mandated to have a answering service that answers the phone 24 hours a day. That is mostly for, in the winter, Code Blue, and for the State Central Registry to send down Child Protective Services reports. And then in the summer, they also send down the SCRs, so they will contact our on-call senior caseworker or the on-call supervisor. The next one is for Allegheny County Information Technology Services. We pay about 80% of one of Keith's people. Our ever-changing technology that comes down from the state, we have to make sure that our computers are updated to match the state systems. And they take care of all that, and they do all of our updates in the systems so we can communicate with the state and get the information that we need. Everything that is mostly stored on the state system, so it's a big line that goes back and forth. And the last one is for the District Attorney's Office. This is for prosecution of fraud cases that we would either find out when somebody comes in and signs up on our front-end detection system. They already had a fraud case in the past, and we'll check again. Or if they come in and we find out they had a fraud case, we can refer that over through our program integrity unit, and they can take care of the prosecution for that. These are all cooperative agreements for 2025. They are all budgeted and do not require a budget adjustment.
Can we have a motion?
Brissette, move it.
Healy, second.
Any questions?
Comment here. So the first 3 are, we get about approximately 70% from between combined state and federal funding on those. And then on the last one, it's about the 50-50 with the DA's office. Is that correct?
Correct.
Thank you.
I just have a question about the phone answering service. So if somebody calls in, it doesn't go to 911, it goes to a separate line?
They use a separate number, but it's answered in the 911
Okay.
center.
Okay, that's what I
So.
wondered, yeah. All right, so they know it's not,
Yeah, they know it's either coming from the state or could be somebody like an APS referral from an agency or something like that.
and you have a staff member that's on call? to get
24/7.
referred to. Okay,
Yep, with a supervisor.
okay, all right, all in favor? Aye. That's carried, all right. Now we'll do the next 5, our renewal and approval letters for cooperative agreements?
These are cooperative agreements for calendar year 2024. We were running behind, and a couple years ago, we were running behind. It's been an uphill battle trying to get these approved with the state. We still have some more to get approved with the state. They just approved one that I'll bring back next month for employment and training, but the ones that they finally did approve mirror what 2025 is, and when these were approved, we sent the 2025 ones in right away. So repeating would be information and technology services, same as 2025 for their assistance in operating the computer system and make sure updates are done. Sheriff's Department for security services, that would be one DSS deputy again, and a building grounds deputy. And then the Sheriff's Department for the phone answering again. And the district attorneys for the $25,000 for prosecution of fraud. The other one that we were able to press through was for the county attorney's office. This is when our DSS attorney cannot cover a case in child support. We do contract, and they do have a full-time attorney that comes in part-time to just represent us in court, I believe on Thursdays. But that runs through the county attorney's office, and we are able to reimburse them for that.
Okay, all right, can I have a motion to accept these 5?
He'll move it.
Second? Any questions?
Yeah, I have
Yes,
one.
yes.
Okay, I just happened to notice. Oh, sorry. I just happened to notice, and I'm not sure because I lost my screen for a minute, but this is the cooperative agreement for, maybe I'm wrong, legal services and support staff, and it says for January 1st, 24 to December 1st, 31st, 24. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Okay.
Yep, we were running behind on
Okay,
those.
thank you.
All of those are for 24.
Yeah, I see that now. That's why I was like, maybe I'm wrong.
Nope, you're absolutely correct.
Okay.
All right, any other questions? All in favor?
Aye.
And that's carried. All right, and you can continue, I guess we'll have to do each of these separately, the next ones?
Yep.
Okay.
Laboratory Corporations of America. Last year, when we put the budget together, we were paying $47 per DNA test for child support. They contacted us about a month and a half ago and informed us that they will be moving that to $50 per test, so it's an increase of $3 per test. I did go back and did some history from calendar year 2024. We did do 30 tests for a total of 1,410 at $47. When this increases to $50 per test, it would be $1,500. This year so far, we have paid for 13 tests for $611, and if we pay 50, that would be $650. I have budgeted this line for 2025 at $2,000. So with the increase estimated at $1,500, based on 2024, this would not require a budget adjustment.
Good. All right, can we have a motion to accept that increase?
He'll make it.
Any questions?
Question.
Yes, Mr. Healy?
So we're able to recoup some of those costs
Yes, 66% of that.
from the parties involved?
Yes, and if we end up testing and we don't prove paternity, we have to pay for the cost, reimbursed at 66%. But if they are proven to be the biological parent, they have to reimburse that to the department
And then, of course, support for the
for the child.
child.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yep.
Any other questions? All in favor? Aye. And that's carried.
The next one is similar to Laboratory Corporations of America. Dr. Scott Anderson, he is one of our psychologists. He helps us in some of the more difficult child protective services cases, and we will send children there for evaluations, and he will write reports that we can use to be submitted into court. He had asked for $170 per hour last year. That's what we budgeted for. He had some unexpected rate increases to run his business, and he is now requesting $185 an hour. This is a $15 increase. I have budgeted that line for an $18,000 maximum. And last year, in 2024, he invoiced for $14,492. And with the rate increase of $15 based on that, that would increase that line by $1,275, which would bring a estimated total of $15,767, which is still below the $18,000 maximum that I had built into the budget for 2025. So this would not require a budget adjustment.
Okay, great. Can we have a motion to approve that?
Healy will move it.
Second?
What's that?
Any questions?
So that's reimbursed also,
Yes, it's reimbursed based on the eligibility of the child.
and it's a necessary service.
It is very necessary service.
Thank you.
Any other questions? All in favor? Aye. And that's carried. Thank you. All right. Another
Okay,
one?
The next one is our HEAP contract with Office for the Aging. This is so we can help the Office of the Aging out with the HEAP applications that they help the elderly with for the population that they help out. Without them, it would be critical for us to get backlogged if we didn't have them do the service for us. And then they start the application off, and then they hand it off to us, and then we process the rest of it into WMS. And they did quite a few applications last year. I think it was probably 4,000, 3,000, something like that.
I think it was
2,000. I know they do a lot, put it that way, so.
All right. Can I have a motion to accept that?
Ricketts Swales.
Second? And any questions?
I'd just like to point out that's 100% funded by
Yes, it's
by the
100%
federal government.
federally funded, yes.
And my other question is, that any word yet, I think New York State, do they realize what their proposed regulations on burning wood, that most of our, or a lot of our HEAP customers are actually utilize wood to heat their homes?
Mm-hmm.
Do you think you get any conversation from the state on that, or?
I haven't heard anything on that just yet. I know that we had a lot of wood vendors last year, plus pellet, and then, of course, all the other normal fuels that people use to heat their homes with. So I have not heard anything on that.
Thank you.
Any other questions? All in favor? Aye. And that's carried. I should have asked this before, but how do you determine how much of that goes to Office of Aging and how much goes through you? I mean, is there a dollar amount, or is it just by numbers of people that apply?
There's an administrative allocation that comes down from the state each year for the federal fiscal year from October to September. And usually that comes down at about $180,000 each year. They do go up and down a little bit. And then when HEAP season closes and we're not processing applications and OFA has already been paid, we'll repurpose those employees to do other duties, and then I'll claim them under different funding streams.
Thank you. All right, and then we go on to the next one. This one's with Accord.
Yep, the next one is for Accord, and these are for people that show up down there who have not processed a HEAP application, and they might be going through one of their housing programs or some type of help that Accord might be giving them, and they recommend that they apply for HEAP, and then they will help them fill out the application there. They do not process a whole lot of them, probably less than 10 a year.
Okay, can we have a motion to accept that?
What's that? Motion?
Second? Any questions? All in favor? Aye. And that one's carried.
Okay.
And we just have two more.
Okay. Now, the next one I'm very excited about. This is going to be a new endeavor for the Department of Social Services. This is to enter into contract with TIPCO Corporation out of Ohio. This is going to be for artificial intelligence to answer the phone, to be a help to the workers and the supervisors, and to start applications. I went through a demonstration, and I did have Keith and Darby sit with me on that. They are our computer gurus, so they know a lot more about it than me. The one thing I do like about this system is it's a standalone system. We don't have to rely on the state for anything to make the system work. It resides in the cloud, right? I don't know a lot about that.
That's why we have Keith.
Right, definitely. And then it will do multi-factor authentication if it is needed. And there are already 6 counties in New York State that are using it, and 3 counties are at the same phase that I'm at, asking to be able to enter into contract. The first thing that EVA will do is EVA phone will answer the phone, and when we did our demonstration, it was pretty impressive. They had set up a mock demo just for Allegheny County, and they dialed the number that they had set up. And he was holding the phone up during the demonstration, and EVA came on and goes, "Thank you for calling the Allegheny County Department of Social Services. I am EVA, your AI assistant. How may I help you?" And the only thing that he said was, "I'm out of food." And EVA came back on and says, "Well, I'm sorry to hear that. What township do you live in?" And Greg goes, he just picked a township, he goes, "I live in Almond." And EVA came back on because they had programmed the food pantries in for Allegheny County. EVA came back on and goes, "There's a food pantry at the Presbyterian Church that's opening on these days. This is the phone number. Would you like me to call and make an appointment for you? And would you like to start a food stamp application, or do you need help or on documentation that you need to do your food stamps?" And that's exactly what that demonstration went like, and it was very impressive. I know last year, our senior typist, which is a entry level, so it's a high rollover position, most of those people promote up to social welfare examiners or to another unit. They did 31,137 calls last year, between 3 and 4 of them. And the high was December of last year with 3,904 phone calls. I have heard from other people that we don't answer all the phone calls. I don't have the data on that. Our system won't give us that information. So I think that this program will really help the public when they call, and plus the public is getting more used to speaking with artificial intelligence when you call your credit card company, or you might call but it's not push number 1 for this, push number 2 for this. This is totally interactive when EVA comes on the line. As a matter of fact, before I came up here, I called Greene County. I know their commissioner quite well, and EVA picked the phone up, and I just ran through some tests with EVA just to see what she would do, and what do I need for a food stamp application? And it says, well, you're going to need a utility bill. You need to prove your address. You'll need your social security number. She goes right down through the list and tells exactly what you need. So that's the phone option for answering the phone. The next one is going to be EVA Companion. And when our regulations are changing so quickly, especially after COVID, a lot of the waivers have gone away, and especially with the new administration. We can send information over to TIPCO. They will feed it into Allegheny EVA. It'll take her about 5 or 10 minutes to learn it, and then the employees can use a chat box on their desktop if they have a question, because I don't know how many times I walk by supervisors' offices downstairs and they have 2 or 3 people that have questions, because we do have a fairly new staff. And you can type your question into EVA, and EVA will come back as long as she's learned that documentation. She will answer the question for you. And that question, when she answers it, will be the same answer every time. So it will definitely help with changing of regulations and things that we don't do every day. As long as we get it programmed into EVA and you type that question in, EVA will answer it. So that's the second component. And then the third component is EVA application. And when we did the demonstration downstairs, we made 2 calls and called up, and the question was, my air conditioner's broke. Of course, EVA comes back on and says, I'm sorry to hear that your air conditioner is broke. Would you like to apply for HEAP? We can start your application now. And he says, yes. Can I have your last name, first name, address? you can do all the identifying features except for the social security number. You got to stay away from that. And then Eva will take it so far, and then that will be passed off to our worker to complete the application. So I'm looking, because the more the regulations change, the more our workers get burdened with looking this up, or we have to do this much extra to get something done. I'm looking for Eva to lessen the burden on the workers and the supervisors, and looking for a more streamlined to answer phones and be able to answer questions and be able to save time to get through interviews and spend more time on the cases that we need to get opened instead of the smaller things that Eva will be able to take care of for us.
All right, can we have a motion to accept this before we start with questions?
Here, I'll move it.
Brissette?
Okay, and I'm sure there's probably going to be some questions. So, all right, Mr. Barnes, we'll start with you, and we'll go right down. How's that?
Sounds like a good investment. My question is this going to reduce the number of people required in your office?
No, that's not what I'm looking for. I'm looking to repurpose those people. So instead of senior typists having to answer the phone all the time when they need to be processing a central registry call for a CPS case, Eva will be able to take the call. They will be able to spend more time preparing that document and moving it through the system. More for the supervisors, because they get burned down. They have their own job duties that they need to do, but sometimes they don't get those done because there's so many questions from the newly hired staff. And then there's more questions from when they change a regulation or they update some feature or a waiver goes away. I'm not looking to lose staff, I'm looking to repurpose staff.
Next question is...
Gary, your microphone.
I'm sorry. Next question is, if we go ahead and get this system, obviously things keep changing.
Mhm.
As part of this contract, everything can be updated daily, weekly, monthly, or whatever is required?
Whatever I send them, it will be updated at that time. So it's a one-year contract, but with Eva learns so quickly. She'll just roll with the changes as they come. TIPCO's motto is kind of crawl, walk, run. So we're going to start off slow, and we'll get things built in there. As things pick up, we'll start walking, and then as things really start to pick up, we'll start running with your county then. So I think that it will be updated as things change, because as soon as you feed it in and she learns it, she's going to know it, and she'll be able to respond right back to it.
Thank you.
The question I have is, some people don't like to talk to a machine. They like to talk to a live person. What's their option? Do they just say, I want to talk to a?
Yes.
So that
Yeah.
option, then it'll automatically take them to
Yeah,
someone?
mhm,
Okay,
yeah.
good. Jenna?
Well, that was part of my question too, like with the food pantry one, I would think that the person, if they're out of food, would be frustrated by, well, the hours of the food pantry are blah, blah, blah.
Right.
And we can, so does the bot help the person fill out the forms for food stamps then? Or get them started, and then does your department just call them back, or how does that work?
I'm not 100% sure on the operation for that, but yes,
Okay.
it can start that application. And then when it's handed off to the employee, our employee will reach back out to that person and get them going. But if it's like an expedited food stamps, and we would have to have that out in 5 days, we would know of that. Eva records everything that she says, and there's a transcript of everything that she says, and everything is recorded in there, so we can always go back and look at that from a supervisor standpoint and be able to read who it was, if something is missed, or we just didn't grab it on the application. You can always go back, but we would definitely be reaching out to make sure somebody is taken care of. And it may save them a trip from coming into the agency.
Sure. The second question I have is, what does the bot do if someone calls and says, someone's hurting me?
I'm sorry?
Someone's hurting me. I mean, that's what you know.
I'm not sure. I will ask them that. I will definitely ask them that.
I need to get out of my house. You know, that might
Right.
happen, right? I would think
yeah.
that they would connect
Absolutely.
automatically to a live person, but I don't know.
Right. I will definitely ask that, and I will send you an email on that.
Okay, thanks.
Mr. Bissett?
Yep. Don,
Yeah,
can it handle multiple calls at once? So if 2, 3, 4 people call at once,
1,000.
1,000?
It will handle 1,000 phone
How
calls
many
at a
people in
time.
Allegheny County?
I don't think we're going
We're
to get
probably
that many.
safe, right?
But
An Evo.
the larger counties like Onondaga and Westchester
Right.
that are signing up for this,
Yeah.
they're really looking forward to that.
It's, I find it very encouraging that it sounds very, very user-friendly. And as Jan said, a lot of people are very apprehensive of using these type of systems. So I'm glad that it sounds very user-friendly. But the main question, how do we secure personal info so it's from getting hacked? Because there's hackers out there everywhere.
I'm going to look at Keith for
I know
this
it's AI,
one.
but-
It's a standalone system in the cloud.
Yeah, but we don't control the cloud.
No.
So Don described the three pieces. Each piece has its own set of security. So the Eva phone, it's just a question and answer thing. There's not really any type of interaction as far as like specific information. If there is, it actually blots it out in the recording that Don has stated. The Eva Companion, that is a internal piece only, and that's the multi-factor authentication that Don was referring to earlier. They have it all figured out. We looked through it and very happy with it.
As you know, so don't the hackers.
Yes.
So, I mean, that's
Yeah,
what
well-
my primary concern would be. I mean, the rest of it we can figure out, but my primary concern is people's personal information.
There's only,
Thanks.
the social security number will never be asked for,
Right,
and hopefully the user will not just give it.
right.
If it does, that can be blocked out as well, so.
Thank you.
Yeah. And I forgot to mention that Office of Temporary Disability has approved this also at the state level, so.
All right, Mr. Ely?
Thank you. Dan, seems like this is going to be a very cost-effective program and could reduce their manpower, long range, once you get everything worked out, or actually maybe better utilize it. And this is 70% funded roughly by the state and federal government also. So I got a question about, is it English only?
No, it's multilingual, and it has programmed in it, it can do 15-plus languages.
So there you go. And also gives us another layer of protection as far as liability goes.
I think they would be the same contract for liability. They'd have to add us to their liability insurance. I have talked to them about that. That's not a problem.
Thank you.
Yep.
Any other questions? We'll be anxious to hear how it works.
Yeah.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
And carried.
Thank you.
Thank you, Don. And then I think we have one more.
Yeah. So as long as I was asking for money, I got to give some money back. We're asking to accept a new award from the Office of Children and Family Services. This is an award of $1,433,190 for over the next 5 years at $288,638 per year. This will not require a budget adjustment. This is for the CAC, so we've already budgeted for this. We anticipated that we would be getting money. And an award to cover partial expenses of contracts, travel, and operating expenditures for the Child Advocacy Center. And then we will be budgeting for it in the coming years.
All right, can I have a motion to accept this grant?
Miss that?
Healy?
Any questions? All in favor? Aye. And that's carried. Thank you, Don.
Thank you.
All right, we have a couple appointments from Clerk of the Board, Brenda Rigby Reilly. The Board of Health recommends that legislator Janice Burdick be reappointed to a new 6-year term commencing July 8th, 2025 and expiring July 7th, 2025 as the legislative representative on the Board of Health. And that will require a resolution and needs a motion.
Healy will move it.
I have a question. It says a 6-year term starting July
Yeah.
2025 and ending July 7th,
Has to be 31.
2025. Is
Oh,
that-
yes, I'm sorry, that's a typo.
Yeah, I figured it was, but I fear we better get it right.
Sorry about that.
So just so we can correct that. All right, any motion to approve that?
Healy moves it.
We
That's
have a-
that.
Excuse me.
Any questions? I actually have a question. It's a 6-year term. My term for legislator is only 4 years, so, or whoever it is, so what happens at the end of the term as a legislator? You're no longer on the board?
I believe a new Board of Health member would be appointed to replace you.
Okay. Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Oh, that's carried. And one more.
Yes. And the Board of Health would like to have David Brubaker reappointed to the Board of Health for a new 6-year term, effective July 8th, 2025, and expiring July 7th, 2031.
We have a motion to accept that. Second? All in favor?
Aye.
And that's carried. Any unfinished business today? Any new business? Go to the order. Motion to adjourn, please.